Western homes got bigger to deal with clutter. Japanese homes got smarter. The shoes have a sunken entry built for them. The appliances have a cabinet with a live outlet inside it. The cables run through the wall before you move in. The laundry dries in the ceiling overnight. The mail never reaches the counter. Every problem Western homes deal with daily, Japan designed out of the house entirely. Today we're going through 15 of them. Things hiding in Japanese homes that are sitting in plain sight in yours. Number one isn't a storage trick. It's a completely different idea about what a room is actually for. Let's count them down. Number 15. The TV owns your living room. Walk into almost any living room in the US, UK, Canada, or Australia, and the first thing your eye goes to is the TV. It's the biggest thing in the room. Every piece of furniture points at it, and when it's off, it's still there. A giant black rectangle staring back at you. In Japan, media cabinets are built with sliding panels or lift up doors that close directly over the screen. When you're done watching, you close the door. The wall looks like a wall again. The cords don't trail down to a power strip on the floor either. They run through channels built inside the furniture itself, nothing visible. The room still has a focal point. The TV just isn't it anymore. Western living rooms were designed around the television. Japanese living rooms were designed around the room. One is a viewing space with furniture arranged inside it. The other is a living space that also has a TV. When the screen goes dark, the room should feel complete. In most Western homes, it never does. Number 14. Shoes pile up at the front door. You've seen it. Maybe you live it. Shoes near the door, on a mat, on a rack, or just scattered. The first thing you see when you arrive home is the mess of coming and going. In Japan, that problem was solved over 1,000 years ago. The entryway is built with a small sunken section right at the front door. You step in, take off your shoes, and step up into the home. That physical step is a boundary. Outdoor dirt, outdoor air, outdoor chaos, all of it stays below. The shoes go into a tall, closed cabinet built directly into the entryway wall. Not a rack, not a tray. A cabinet that looks like part of the wall when it's shut. No outdoor mess crosses into the living space. No visual clutter greets you the moment you arrive. The transition from outside to inside is instant. Western entryways treat arrival like an afterthought. In Japan, it's the first design decision the home makes. Number 13, cleaning supplies are always on show. Open the cabinet under your kitchen sink right now. Spray bottles, a loose sponge, something dripping onto something else. Rubber gloves draped over the pipe. It works, but every time you open it, you're looking at a mess. Closing the door doesn't change what's inside. In Japan, the inside of that cabinet door actually does a job. Rail-mounted holders attached to the back of the door. Spray bottles hang vertically in a row. Pull-out bins on the cabinet floor sort supplies by type. Everything has one fixed place and nothing sits loose. When the cabinet closes, it all disappears. And because every item lives in the same spot, you always know when something is running low. The system tracks itself. A Japanese kitchen designer described the standard this way: the kitchen should look the same whether you just cleaned it or haven't started yet. Western homes store cleaning supplies and call it organized. Japanese homes give every item a fixed position behind a closed door and call it done. Number 12. The bathroom counter is drowning in products. Look at the average bathroom counter in a Western home. Moisturizer, toothpaste, face wash, something from 6 months ago you forgot you bought. The counter is doing the job a cabinet should be doing, because the cabinet is either too small, too full, or in the wrong place. In Japan, the cabinet is built inside the wall behind the mirror, flush with the tile. No box sticking out, no frame, no visible edge. Close it, and it disappears into the wall. In a small Tokyo apartment, the bathroom counter is completely clear. Not because the owner is unusually tidy, but because the counter was never designed to hold anything. Everything used daily lives behind that mirror. The counter is for doing things, not storing them. Western bathrooms were built with counter space because someone assumed you'd fill it. Japanese bathrooms were built around a different assumption. If it's sitting out, it's in the way. A clear counter isn't a personality trait. It's a placement decision made during construction. Number 11. Kitchen appliances never leave the counter. The toaster, the coffee maker, the air fryer, the bread machine someone used to twice in 2019. All of them out, all the time, taking up space whether you're using them or not. The Western kitchen counter became a permanent appliance display, and that just became normal. In Japan, there's a cabinet with a door and a live outlet inside it. The appliance sits inside already plugged in. You lift the door, use what you need, close the door. The counter comes back. It takes 3 seconds to access the coffee maker, 3 seconds to put it away. The gap between using something and storing it is almost nothing. That's what makes the difference. Western kitchens display appliances because moving them feels like effort. Japanese kitchens store them because getting them out was made just as fast as leaving them on the counter. The counter was never meant to be a storage surface. Most Western kitchens just ended up treating it like one. Number 10. Cords are everywhere and nobody fixed it. Behind your TV, under your desk, along your kitchen baseboard, cords running to power strips blocking other outlets, zip ties holding the whole situation together just enough to stop thinking about it. It's the part of every room nobody photographs, and it's looked the same for decades. In Japan, this was treated as a construction problem, not a homeowner problem. Outlets are positioned exactly where appliances will live. Cable channels are built into the walls and furniture during construction. The wiring is part of the original plan, not something you sort out with cable ties after moving in. A Western architect visiting a Tokyo show home spent 20 minutes looking for the cables behind the TV. They were routed through the wall panel. There was nothing to find. Managing cords in a Western home is your job. In Japan, it was the designer's job, finished before anyone moved in. Every cord you can see is a problem that was never solved at the design stage. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 9. Food takes over the counter. Oil next to the stove, cereal on top of the fridge, a fruit bowl that somehow also holds mail and a phone charger. The counter became a landing zone for anything that didn't make it into a cabinet. And the cabinets are usually either too deep, too dark, or already full. In Japan, the gap between the refrigerator and the wall gets used. Narrow pull-out columns are built directly into the cabinetry. Some are only 4 inches wide, but they're tiered and they hold oils, spices, cans, and dry goods. All vertical, all behind a door. A family of 4 in Tokyo stores a full week of dry goods inside 2 of these columns, tucked between the refrigerator and the wall. That same gap in a Western kitchen is dead space. Nobody uses it. Nobody even thinks about it. Western kitchens were built with counter space to compensate for storage that doesn't work well enough. Japanese kitchens made the storage accessible enough that the counter never had to fill in. Your counter isn't full because you have too much. It's full because the cabinets weren't designed to handle it. Number 8. Laundry takes over the living room. There are 2 versions of this in Western homes. The basement dryer you haul everything down to, or the drying rack in the middle of the living room for 3 days, covered in shirts and socks and things you forgot you owned. Either way, laundry is always somewhere visible. In Japan, 66% of households have no clothes dryer at all. Not a broken one, not one in storage. None. And laundry never appears in the living room. 2 things make that possible. Balcony drying rails fold completely flat when not in use, keeping laundry separated from the living space entirely. On rainy days, a ceiling unit in the bathroom runs quietly on a timer. It ventilates and dries overnight. By morning, the laundry is done and the living room was never involved. Western homes spent thousands of dollars on a machine to deal with this. Japan used a balcony rail and a ceiling vent. Laundry drying is a design problem. Most Western homes bought an appliance instead of solving it. Number 7. The medicine cabinet still sticks out of the wall. Look at the medicine cabinet in most Western bathrooms. A mirrored box bolted to the wall, sticking out 2 or 3 inches. Or it's not there at all, and the counter holds everything instead. Either way, it's a solution from 60 years ago that nobody improved on. In Japan, the cabinet sits inside the wall cavity behind the mirror. The face is flush with the surrounding tile. No box, no frame, no visible edge. Close it, and there's just a wall with a mirror on it. Because it uses the full depth of the wall, it actually holds more than a surface-mounted box. More storage, no protrusion. A designer who renovated her bathroom this way said she didn't realize how much that protruding box bothered her until it was gone. Surface-mounted cabinets became standard because cutting into a wall during a renovation takes more time up front. Japanese homes build the wall around the cabinet from the start, so the problem never exists in the first place. Number 6. The router blinks at you from across the room. Every living room has one. A black box on a shelf, blinking. Cords running out in three directions, a modem nearby, an extension cord snaking toward the TV unit. The tech corner of the living room is always a mess, and it's looked that way since routers became standard. In Japan, the router has a door. A small niche is built into the media unit or hallway cabinet. The door panel has small perforations cut into it so the hardware stays cool. Inside, the router, modem, and any extra equipment sit on a pull-out shelf. One panel closes and the whole setup is gone. A homeowner in Japan showed her living room to a visiting friend. The friend asked where the router was. She opened a small panel near the hallway. His reaction was straightforward. He thought it was a speaker. Tech hardware is visible in Western homes because it was added after the room was already designed. In Japanese homes, it's built in because the design assumed it would be there. Your router doesn't need to blink at you from across the room. It just needs somewhere to go. Number 5. Toys live in the living room. Permanently, you tidy up, put things in the basket, fold the blanket over the couch, and the living room still looks like a room with children in it, because the storage is still visible. The basket is there, the toy shelf is there, the situation on the coffee table is still there. In Japan, built-in sliding door closets in children's rooms are designed specifically for this. They're deep, wide, and floor-to-ceiling. One trip, everything from the living room goes in, the door slides shut, and the room is done. Underbed drawers handle the overflow, using the full depth of the bed frame for larger items. Out of sight but easy to reach. A parent in Tokyo described cleanup as one trip. Everything goes in, door slides shut, living room recovered. Western toy storage was designed to look organized. Japanese toy storage was designed so the living room functions like an adult space by 8 o'clock every night. Visible storage is still clutter in the room. A closed door is a clean room. Number 4. Plastic bins became the storage plan. Look in any Western garage, basement, or spare room. Stacked plastic bins labeled with a marker, vaguely sorted, always visible. The storage solution became its own version of the problem, and most people just keep buying more. In Japan, the base of every lower cabinet does something. That 4-inch strip between the floor and the bottom of the cabinet? In Western homes, it's empty, wasted floor space. In Japanese homes, it pulls out. Toe-kick drawers slide out from the base of kitchen and bathroom cabinets, full width, sized for flat items like baking sheets, cutting boards, and spare linens. Under staircases, pull-out trays hold seasonal gear without needing a dedicated room. Corner carousels eliminate the dead zone at the back of every lower cabinet. One designer estimated that toe-kick drawers alone recover enough space to remove an entire storage unit from the average home. Space Western kitchens leave empty by default. Plastic bins are what you buy when the storage wasn't designed well enough. Every bin in your home is a gap the house should have filled. Number 3. The air conditioning unit is always in the way. Window units block the light and rattle at night. Central air works, but the vents interrupt every ceiling. Mini splits are the popular upgrade, but even those have a white box mounted on the wall. Sitting in the top corner of the room, hard to ignore. In Japan, ceiling cassette systems sit flush inside the ceiling itself. The unit is completely out of sight from below. Air comes out through a slim grill around the edge, flowing in 4 directions at once for more even coverage than any wall unit. In newer builds, wall units are panel covered and color matched to the surrounding wall. The unit reads as part of the room, not something added to it. Japan holds 50% of global patents for inverter air conditioning technology. They didn't just focus on efficiency, they focused on making the unit disappear. A Western woman living in a Tokyo apartment for 2 years assumed her building had central air. She never found the unit. It had been recessed into the ceiling the whole time. The window unit is still standard in millions of Western homes because it was the affordable fix decades ago. In Japan, it's a problem that was outgrown a long time ago. Number 2, mail lands on the counter and stays there. You know this pile. An envelope from the bank, a catalog you didn't ask for, something that needs action you haven't taken, a takeout menu from a place that closed last year. The counter near the front door is where mail waits, sometimes for weeks. The pile grows because nothing in the house tells it where else to go. In Japan, mail has a destination before it enters the living space. Built-in mail slots route letters into a wall unit inside the entrance, sorted before you even pick them up. Near the kitchen, a wall-mounted document station handles the rest. Pull-out trays for different paper types, a shredder slot built in, a pin board for things that need action, all behind a closed panel. Paper comes in and goes somewhere specific. The counter never sees it. A home organizer in Japan described her counter as a surface for doing things, not deciding things. Every piece of paper has a place the moment it arrives. That's not a habit she built. It's a system that was built into the walls. In Western homes, paper clutter gets treated as a discipline problem. In Japan, it was treated as a design problem, fixed with a slot, a tray, and a closed panel. Your counter is covered in paper because your home doesn't have a better answer for where it goes. Number 1. Everything on display competes for attention. Here it is. Number 1. And it's not a cabinet, not a drawer, not a clever use of dead space. It's an idea about what belongs in a room. Look at the shelves in a typical Western home. Trophies, framed photos, figurines, books you'll never open again, decorative objects that arrived once and never left. Every surface tells a story. But when everything is out, nothing actually gets noticed. It all becomes background. In Japan, there's a guiding principle around the value of empty space. The working rule is simple. No surface should be more than 70% filled. That remaining 30% isn't wasted space. It's what makes everything else visible. Objects in Japanese homes are chosen, not accumulated. What goes on a shelf is a decision, not a default. Items are rotated by season, so nothing becomes invisible through familiarity. A Japanese interior designer once described a shelf holding a single ceramic bowl as complete. A Western visitor looked at the same shelf and asked what else was going on it. The answer was nothing. The bowl was the point. The space around it was part of the design. Western display culture is built on accumulation. More objects, more personality, more life on show. Japanese display culture is built on selection. The one thing you choose to show communicates more than the 30 things sitting around it. One approach fills a room, the other makes a room feel like something specific was intended. Empty space isn't a lack of design. In Japan, it's often the most deliberate decision in the room. If you want to keep discovering the smartest ideas Japan has to offer, hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. It's loaded with even more jaw-dropping ideas you won't believe exist.